Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Hi, happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday morning. We are here today with Coffee Chat. Yay! I bet you guys thought that I wasn't coming this morning, but here I am. Like I said, if it's not after 11 o'clock, you can still count on me. So make sure, hopefully you had some time to check out the Buy It Now. This little store icon somewhere on your screen. I have featured items from around the marketplace. So I would love if you could just, click on that, do a little browsing. Essentially what that is I've included items that, I maybe did a little shopping, but didn't hit the checkout button. So I think those are items that you might like as well. So let me get over to YouTube real quick. I am going to turn us over to subscribers only, and then we will get started. All right, let me switch account. Oh wait, no, I'm not doing that. I'm staying on this account. I don't know how every time I do this, it's like I'm doing it for the first time. You would think that after I've done this, oh, fantastic, thank you. You would think that after I've done this, like every time I would know, hey, you hit this button. But no, every time it's like I'm doing it for the first time. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you very much. All right, let's see. Oh, it's already on 2 years. What? Huh? Oh, I'm on the wrong. God, I feel like I'm like not here today. I'm somewhere else today. Let me try this again. Subscribers. Okay, years. All right, so if you are over on Facebook or YouTube, you are able to watch this morning's coffee chat, but you will not be able to participate in chatting if you have not been subscribed for 2 years on YouTube. So come on over and join us if you would like to engage in the conversation. Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations on your first purchase. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. All right, well, let me get over to my notes real quick and we will get started. I'm just checking on my charges on my devices. I think I'm good for now. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot. Oh, I'm still scrolling. Okay. It's gonna be a long chat today. All right. So, we first of all, I know it's probably somewhere in the notes, but I'm just going to start with this. What an amazing weekend. Thank you to everybody who participated in the glass gallery. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. Our sellers just absolutely hit it out of the park. Not just our live sellers, but also our Buy It Now sellers. I spent so much time browsing through the Buy It Now listings, adding them to the stagnant sales, the sales for Buy It Now listings, also adding them to the homepage categories. And some of the Buy It Now listings were absolutely outstanding. As of right now, our homepage is still glass. So if you want to do some little last minute shopping on those categories, I would encourage you to do so. And then I'm going to change the whole homepage back. But yeah, I'm so proud of everyone who showed up this weekend, whether that was just some encouragement in the chat, or it was incredible. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody on Knickknacks who showed up this weekend. I appreciate all of you, and it really was a testament to the community here, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate you. So it was fantastic. But on that note, let's get started. So here we go. We're currently at 41,462 members. So that is 486 new members since last week. Usually when we have a big event, like nobody does glass like us, that's the truth. Usually when we have a big event like the glass event, the paperweight event, even our smaller, less, I should say, I'm not gonna say popular, but like the smaller events, we do get a boost in members. So that was really exciting. So we're at 486, which is wonderful. I did add some new sellers this week. We have 33 new sellers for a total of 4,379 sellers. So we are almost at 4,400 sellers, which is wonderful. For those of you who are still waiting to be approved, I always say this when I'm talking about our seller count. It's very important to me in growing Knickknacks that we have a good ratio between buyers and sellers. And right now, it's a really healthy ratio. I'm seeing a lot of people in our live sales. I'm seeing a lot of purchases on the back end. Our numbers are great. And so I've been bringing in a lot of, you probably noticed, I've been bringing in a lot of new sellers because I'm seeing that. And, every time it's just like, it's insane how healthy the marketplace is right now, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to continue to bring in new sellers, and as long as I'm seeing good results on the analytics. And so welcome to all of our new sellers. Welcome to all of our new members as well. It's wonderful to have you here. So we currently have 103,300 listings. And of course, every week, that kind of fluctuates. People go on they put vacation mode on. They sell some of their listings through live sale, but we're about at 103,000. So I like to say we have over 100,000 listings because that's usually the case. All right, I did need to make a quick announcement today. I'm not going to talk about it very much, but it does need to be said, and that is that Mary is no longer working with COL Media. So I know some of you were trying to tag her. She's no longer working with COL Media, and she has chosen to leave Niknax. But if you would like to support her, you can find her on Facebook. So Merriweather Market, you can find her there, and you can support her. She is selling other places, so you can find her and support her if you would like to do so. So I feel like that just needed to be said. So if you want to go and find her, you can find her on Facebook. All right. So next we are going to talk, the glass gallery. We're going to talk about the glass gallery. Yes, absolutely. I said I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to get too much into it, but absolutely. You know what? Mary has been with me for a really long time, and 6 years actually, since 2020. And she has done an amazing job with helping to grow CLL Media. And of course, I wish her all the success. She does a lot. She's been doing a lot with storage units. And that brings her so much joy. And I hope that I do wish her all the best. So if you want to go support her, you can absolutely hop over, find her on Facebook. It's Merriweather Market. And like I said, you can find her other places and continue to support her. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the glass gallery. There was a lot of really amazing, unique glass this weekend. It was incredible. Some of the pieces I'd never seen before, some of the makers I was unfamiliar with. And that's one of the things I love about these events, even the Fenton event. I just learned so much, and it's kind of like a lesson in a way. I learned things that, like, if I see them out in the wild, I should maybe pick that up. And so I think that's really cool. We had record sales this weekend. It was our biggest weekend yet on Niknax. It was incredible. All of our sellers, I believe all of our sellers made sales. I want to be able to say that with confidence. But I didn't check yesterday's sales. So on Saturday and Sunday, I'm pretty certain all of our live sellers made sales. But I didn't have time this morning to check Monday, but it was incredible. So again, I just wanted to I'm so proud of all of you. You did an amazing job, and I'm so thrilled to have you here. So congratulations on your sales, and I'm excited to see what the next glass gallery brings, of course. But yeah, so this was absolutely an amazing weekend all around. We did bring in a lot of new members, which was fantastic. And we did have, so I have to give, and I did, District was so wonderful. I mean, they're always wonderful, but they were so amazing this weekend. What you guys didn't realize is they were actually monitoring the entire glass train. We've had we've had a few glitches lately. Mostly, they're introducing this new dashboard. Um, and so like there's like little things that need to be worked out, and they're working so hard on that to make sure that they give us the best version of the dashboard. So as a reminder, if you're on the dashboard, remember to like report anything that you notice that's a little wonky. Um, but they were monitoring the glass train, and they were making sure that like if we had any hiccup or anything, they would pop right in like, hey, what's up? Is everything okay? Like, and so huge shout out to district for being there, for supporting us in this train and making sure that everything was running smoothly. Every little glitch we had, they were there. And so absolutely so appreciative to them and their support. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So that was incredible. If you'd like to give some feedback on the event, as always, you can send feedback to Christina at knickknacks.net as related to the event. Also community at knickknacks.net. You can send it there as well. The next glass gallery is going to be July 5th through the 6th. Is that the date we decided? Right after 4th of July? Did we lock that in? It's quarterly. Okay. Well, tentatively, it's July 5th and 6th. We might have to look at the calendar because I'm like, oh, is that a weekend? Is that a weekend of July 4th? I know the July 4th weekend. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't sound like a great idea. I feel like a lot of people are going to be traveling, and I know. I'm like, oh, am I going to be away that weekend? So we're going to probably look at the calendar and we'll tentatively say, but it will be in July. I will say it will be in July. Community. I'm like reading it. I'm like, what does this say? So community participation. We talk about this a lot. We talk about like how much we value the community. And when we say that, it's not just, it's not just our sellers. It's not just our buyers, but it's the entire community. It's everybody. It's those that are popping into sales, just sprinkling encouragement or, engaging in the chat. I mean, that is so important. I saw quite a few sales this weekend where it's like, nobody's talking. And I was like, come on, guys, let's get talking. Let's, and the seller's asking questions and it's just like silence. Like, come on. Guys, you know the drill. You guys know. Let's get this communication, like let's get it going. So sometimes I talk too much. I love to see the engagement. I love to see the engagement in the chat. So not just in the live sales, but in the chat channels also. We see community in all of the events we have. Just reading through this list, everything. That's what makes Knickknacks so great. Is I feel like the sense of community here, and I hope that like I say, I've said this, a year ago. I just want to bottle that up and hold on to that forever. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I'm like, okay, so these bigger when did these bigger platforms lose their sense of community, or did they even ever have it? And that makes me nervous. I'm like, okay, when did they lose that? When did they lose that? And do I have to worry about losing that? Like I just want to take a bottle and just shove it in there and be like, okay, I'm holding on to this forever. Yeah, you don't think they ever did? I know, that's also what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, maybe they just never did. Maybe they were always just so like corporate, like minded that they just never had that humanity about them, And I think that's what sets us apart, is we do have that sense of, we have that sense of community. All right, I see something about a question. No, we sell much more than glass and jewelry. We sell much more than glass and jewelry. Lots of things. We have clothing, we have pottery, we have glass, we have jewelry, we have cosmetics now. I want to get snacks happening, handmade items. Yeah, linens, ephemera, all sorts of things. Yeah, it's kind of a cool place. Snacks. I know, snacks. Come on, guys, let's do snacks. Prom dresses. Yeah, come on, shoes, purses. All right, let's see. Okay, so one thing that is really important, and you know, the vision for Knickknacks has always been about community. You know, that is my vision. That's why I want to just, you know, bottle it up. But in order to accomplish the community, we have to set guidelines, and the guidelines are very important. So make sure that you are familiar with our guidelines. You know, especially, you know, since we're adding all of these new members, new sellers. I think it's really important that you guys are visiting our guidelines, and you can find those in the get the information chat channel. It is a link. It is a Google link. It's like 15 pages long, but the guidelines are kind of towards the top. We have different guidelines than Whatnot. We get a lot of people over from Whatnot, and we have different guidelines than over there because there's a lot of things we don't like about that place. And so we've written guidelines that set us apart. So if you're coming from over there, just make sure, you know, you check out our guidelines and know that, you know, we have different rules here. We have different, different guidelines because we don't want to be that place. I lost my notes. I'm like kind of rambling because I lost my notes. Okay, so so make sure that if you're new here, you are checking the guidelines because that's what preserves the community. And whenever we see like things like shifting, we always try to like, okay, what do we have to do to get that back in alignment? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's see. The fox looks, I know, I feel like I have to go back to Madison Bachville and buy him a friend. Like maybe the turtle. There was a turtle with a bird on it, right? Isn't there a turtle with a bird on it? I feel like I have to go back and get my friend and just set it up there with him. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today, I've been reviewing applications. We have almost 900 applications right now. Even though I've been approving applications, which is wonderful. It means, you know, we have a lot of people interested in joining us and being sellers here. So I'm really excited about that. I will tell you, I get messages all the time, like, why haven't I been approved yet? It's been 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes a while. You know, we've had sellers wait 9 months. We've had sellers wait a year. It sometimes does take a little bit of time to get approved, but it is usually worth the wait. It is worth the wait. And like I said earlier, there is a ratio. And not only is there a ratio, but like now that we're branching into other categories, I am, watching those categories and seeing not just how healthy the marketplace is as a whole, but also how those categories are performing, like individual categories that we have within Knickknacks. So, you know, if one category seems oversaturated, I'll kind of look around and be like, okay, well, maybe we need to, try this or try that. Oh my gosh, I just X'd out of the window. What am I doing today? I don't know. Okay. So that is important to know about becoming a member. And I lost my notes again. I'll tell you what, guys, today is a day. So as I am approving these profiles, I'm looking. So the new way with the new dashboard, when the new applications pop up, I can see the profile at the top. So for instance, I will show you an application. Well, I won't show you an application. I don't know if I have any guinea pigs here, but maybe I can. Yeah, I'm not gonna show any applications. Anyway, so when I open the application, I can see the profile photo, and then I could see the About Me section. When I'm seeing About Me sections that say, oh, come visit me on eBay, here's my eBay username, or here's my link to eBay, I'm kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if I like that. So I'm kind of skipping over those applications. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of skipping over those applications. Because I'm like, hey, our rule number one on our guidelines is no promoting outside platforms. And so if your little profile blurb says, hey, come find me on eBay, I'm gonna say probably, I don't know about that. So just putting it out there. And the thing about the profile blurb, though, is that your profile extends all across district also. So, if you're a member of another marketplace and you're promoting that marketplace, that also applies. So, if you're in, this marketplace over here and you're like, oh, I mean, I will make exceptions. We have a few members who like own other marketplaces. And of course, in their little blurb, it's going to be like, I own this marketplace. And I mean, of course it's going to be like, okay, I'm not going to knock them for that. Like, they're proud of owning their marketplace, and that's that, but when it comes to members and sellers, I do see the blurb, and if they're advertising outside of Knickknacks, I'm probably gonna, and at some point I probably will just shoot over a message and be like, hey, just so you know, what is happening over there? I gotta get over there. Give me one sec. Let me get over there and I will fix that. I couldn't really figure out what was going on, and I was like, is something going on over there? I think so. Okay, give me a second. I thought maybe it was just somebody talking, and then I was like, oh, wait, no, that is a troll. Oh, you got it? Okay. All right. I thought maybe you were dropping the girls off at school, and I was like, oh, that's all right. I got it. I think everyone here is used to me pausing to do that. All right. So that being said, as far as user profiles go, make sure you're using your user. And there's a lot of them that I go through and they don't have anything at all. Like, use your user profile to introduce yourself. Be like, hey, like, I love my cats and I like reading books. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I like this person. They love cats and they love books. We could be friends. Like, you could totally. There you go. So make sure you're using your profile, to let people know a little bit about you. You can also maybe put your code in your profile as well. Like, hey, use my code. So you can be using your profile to your advantage. But like I said, not to promote business on other platforms. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of messages lately via help desk that aren't necessarily violations. Remember, I bid on that, Brandon. I bid on that Cheeto. Remember? I was like, oh, I like this Cheeto. I almost bought that Elvis-shaped Cheeto, as a matter of fact. It was almost mine. So as far enough about spicy Cheetos. That was a weak moment in my purchasing decisions. So we've been getting a lot of messages through help desk, where there seems to be. Let me see how I want to see this. Okay, where there are issues with buyer-seller relationships, and that is going to happen. It is going to happen. I have issues with buyers. I've had issues with buyers in the past. Oh my gosh, what is happening over there? All right, I'm on it. I'm gonna take a break. I can't right now. Oh, yay. I can't keep going. Hang on. Oh, yay. Oops, now I'm talking to myself. Okay. Did you just turn on approved established followers? Okay, because I was gonna even lock it down further, but I didn't know because I thought they were maybe getting through. Okay. we'll try that. If that doesn't work, you can lock it down even further. All right. Now I have to get back to my notes. All right. Sorry, I get distracted so easily. I'm like, hey, what's that? Okay. So if you are having issues, don't be afraid to use the block feature. I mean, that was a feature that like I was like, we need to be able to block people. What was she doing? What are you doing? What are you looking for, babe? What are you looking for?
I was getting tissue and I
Oh.
was trying to crawl on the ground.
Oh, you were trying to crawl on the ground?
So they didn't see me.
Here.
They found me though.
They saw you.
Yeah.
So we planned that. All right, let me start over. So if you're having an issue with a buyer, please, I'll answer that. That's a good question. But if you're having an issue with a buyer, you can always use the block feature. It's okay. It's okay to use the block. I mean, if you have a buyer who is in consistently asking for refunds, if you have a buyer who is being combative, if you have, and this is speaking to our sellers, if you have a buyer who you're just not like, it's just not working, but they consistently continue to buy from you and it's just not working, you can block them. You can absolutely 100% block. Yeah, you can block them. And I will support you. You have every right to block somebody who is, not working with your business. It's your business to protect. And if you feel like things are going in the wrong direction, I mean, I would at least send them a message and I would say, okay, listen, I feel like I can't make you happy. And then cite the examples. There was this instance, there was that instance, and now there's this. And I feel like we're probably going to have to part ways and I'm going to block you from purchasing from me. And it's okay to set those boundaries and block. There are plenty of people here on Knickknacks. There are plenty, and maybe they'll get along better with another seller. But do not be afraid to use the block feature. It's there for you to protect your business. Because I mean, it's not going to work with everybody, and that's just the truth. Obviously, I still want you to send me a message. I still like to know what's going on. I like to know whenever we're having like a difficult interaction with certain, buyers, even buyers with sellers. I like to know what's going on so that I can keep an eye on it. If we have a buyer who is not only sending you repeated requests for refunds or badgering you, but then I get another report that they're, sending messages to another seller, like repeatedly asking for refunds. When I see those sorts of patterns, then I can act and send that buyer a message and say, hey, listen, what's going on? And then if it's a bigger issue, and they're trying to take advantage of our sellers, and there's a pattern there, I might have to suspend them. Well, first I remind them of the guidelines, then I might have to suspend them, remove them, and deal with them that way. But I would absolutely encourage you guys to use and to block them. You can go to their profile and you can use the block button, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. It's been a while since I blocked anyone. I'm going to block Christina. Christina, you're my guinea pig. I'm going to block you. Oh, I don't have to look up Christina. I have to look up Moon Sky. There you go. Go to profile, click the 3 dots. Yep, 3 dots. And then it's block. Poor Christina. I'm not actually going to block her. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so here is Christina's profile. I click these 3 dots and I hit block. Okay, so this this blocks that person from purchasing from you. I don't believe this blocks them from messaging you. So you may have to also block them from messaging you, and you can do that through your messenger. I'm pretty sure that's 2 separate things. Okay. So make sure that, you do it that way. Okay. But I just wanted to remind everybody that you can do that. You can do that. I will tell you, my block list on YouTube is probably about 1,000 people, if not more. My block list on eBay is a couple hundred. It's insane. But as soon as I get bad vibes from someone and I'm like, you know what, this is going to drag me down. This is not conducive to business. I don't like the mood this is putting me in. I'm just going to block it and move on because I have other things to focus on, and I'm going to block the bad vibes. And sometimes that's what you got to do to focus on business. It is what it is. Sometimes people are unhappy and you just can't do anything to make them happy. And it is what it is. So feel free to, you can still absolutely reach out to community@knickknacks.net. I want you to reach out to me. I want you to let me know what's going on. And if you need to ask me hey, what do you think? What's your opinion on this? What should I do? I will give you guidance. I mean, that's why it's there. That's why we have the help desk. So, I could maybe help you oh, hey, maybe you should block this person. Okay. It's Christine even wrote, protect your sanity and your business. And I think that's the truth. All right, let's talk about the return and refund policy, because I realized that not a whole lot of people know about this. Buyer protect. And this is a shout out to our sellers. Yes. Okay. That is a good point. So here's the thing on Knickknacks Messenger, if you ever get a message from somebody saying, is this still available? Kind of like you get on Facebook. Is this still available? Or those sorts of messages, usually it's probably a scammer because obviously it's still available. You're sending me a message through the listing. Those are usually scammers and you should report them. Okay. 9 times out of 10, if they say, is this still available on a listing that is clearly available, it's a scammer. Just saying. Oh, you've seen things with sold in the title. Well, I mean that's self-explanatory too. I mean, if it's sold in the title, it's sold. Don't be asking me if it's. I mean, that's the 1 out of 10 right there. If it's sold in the title, no, I'm sorry, it's not still available. But 9 times out of 10, yeah, it's available. You're probably a scammer. All right, let me show you guys this real quick. Okay, so I've been getting messages also through help desk, people wanting to return items a month, 2 months, 4 months after they've received it. As a seller, you have every right to refuse after 10 days. This is the district. Buyer protection policy. So, if your order never ships or your item doesn't match the listing description, you'll receive a full refund. So this here is important to sellers to include tracking. Include your tracking. Even if you have to input your tracking number, include tracking. Okay, but it says just make sure to report the issue within 48 hours of delivery or 10 days within making the purchase. Within 10 days of making the purchase. So if your order never ships or doesn't match the listing description, you'll receive a full free refund. Just make sure to report within 48 hours of delivery or 10 days. So if you don't get your item, but the buyer, it waits, it's after 10 days. It says right there, within 10 days. So you can actually find this on District Buyer Protection. This is the policy right here. So if you're getting messages from a buyer and it's been months, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And I will support your decision. I will stand by. If I get a message and help desk like, this person won't refund me, and I'll be like, hey, so when did you buy the item? Be like, oh, well, here's buyer protection, and that's that. That is that. If you've waited over a month to receive it, that's wild. Is that an issue of the post office, or is that an issue of the seller shipping it? Because sellers are required to ship within 3 business days. Weather issues. Okay. Yeah, there are a few exceptions, but that is the policy. That is the policy. All right, let me see. Sherry had a question. So the way they benefit is they'll ask, is this still available? And then you'll say yes, and they'll be like, well, can you, like, sometimes it's like, can you send me the item and I'll send you a check? Like, that's one of them. Or, what's your PayPal? And so they'll try to take that, that transaction off platform. And I don't know where it goes from there, but they try to take it outside of Knickknacks. And that's never a good thing. So never fall for that. So never do that. Always try to keep, always keep it within Knickknacks, because then you see the protection right here. You are covered by the protection. Once you leave the island, we cannot protect you any longer. Yeah, you won't have the seller protection if you take it off the island. So there you go. Never leave the island. No, I mean, you can leave the island, but I'm just saying, like, if you go off the island, you're not protected, and you no longer have my protection if you leave the island. All right, let me get back to the notes. All right, so I did want to remind everybody that is the policy on return. So I will support our sellers. I will stand by them. So if they say, no, sorry, it's been a month, it's been 2 months, and it is what it is. Can you explain the refund policy better? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So essentially what that means is, as far as what they're saying here and what I'm trying to explain is, this falls under buyer remorse, and we've had this happen a few times where, we've had a buyer who has maybe, like, gotten really excited about Niknax. They bought a bunch of stuff, and then, like, a month in, they realize, like, oh my gosh, I can't actually afford all these things I've bought. And we had, I'm going to use Sandy as an example, and I'm sure she's not going to mind. My flippin' van life, my friend Sandy, got a message about an item that somebody bought last year, and they wanted to return it for a refund. So that is why this policy is important. Because in situations like that, it's like, sorry, no. But also, I mean, that is an example of buyer's remorse, which is also not covered, so, I mean, after that 10 days, it's like, it's done. So you have, as a buyer, you have 10 days to open that item, inspect it, like, make sure that it meets, the listing, that it is as it was described, it's not broken. Like, you have 10 days to, like, make sure that is what you want, because after 10 days, the deal is done. 10 days is very generous. It is very generous. But that's what it is. It's 10 days. You have 10 days to look the item over, inspect it, make sure it is what you wanted. And then after the 10 days, then it's up to the seller. But I mean, it's, the seller can decide whether or not what they want to do. It does not say business days or regular days. So I don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that one. What was the other question? I saw something else. I know I bought a new house. It doesn't go with the decor. Yeah, I've had some wild buyer remorse. I'm like, so you just don't like the item? I'm sorry, that doesn't count. As far as shipping goes, I would have to think about that. I mean, I think as a seller, I have always offered if I know that I'm in the wrong, like if I send an item and I realize like, oh my gosh, there was a chip that I didn't notice, I will pay the return shipping if I have that item returned to me. In most cases, I'll just take the loss and I'll say, you know what, you keep the item, I'm going to refund the whole thing. And then I refund it. I mean, that's just how I run my business, because hey, I overlooked that. I'm really sorry. And then I'll just refund the whole thing. But, if it's my issue, what if the post office damages it during shipping? So that would be an issue of opening a case. And I honestly don't know what the district policy is on that, because I don't think we've had that issue before. I don't know if we've had that issue before, but that would require, like, if you have insurance on it, and we usually purchase insurance after a certain amount. Shelby, do you know what we purchase insurance on? If it's over how much?
Over $100.
If it's over $100, we purchase insurance, and we will file a claim. So in our situation, we ask the buyer to hold the package. Okay, please hold the item and the broken item. Please hold the box, because sometimes the post office will ask you to bring it in so they can inspect it. So we'll ask the buyer to hold everything. In my case, this is just in my case, and what we do is, yes, you have to get pictures. You have to have pictures of every side of the box. And when you go in to file a claim, you'll see what all you need. I feel like it's easier for the buyer to file the claim. But also, since we're the ones who purchased the shipping, I know there's like a weird thing there. In the past, I don't know if they've changed it. It's been a while since I've done it. But I forgot what I was talking about. So normally what I'll do is I'll refund them and then I'll file the claim. That's what I do. And then hopefully I get my money back. That's what we do on our business, but that's not a requirement. That's not what everybody does. Everybody does it differently. It just depends on where they're at in their business. I mean, we have the means to be able to do that. If we sell an item and, it breaks, like, oh crap, but we'll refund it and then we'll take on the responsibility of filing the claim. But I would lean on district to know their policy. So if you have questions about that, I would email support@district.net and see what their policy is on the post office claims and all that, because they could probably let you know. And then just go by their policy and what they say. All right. We got off a little bit of a tangent there. We have a new feature. Yes, you can ask for the item back. Absolutely, you can. Yep, you can ask for the item back, and you can send return shipping labels. Yes. So a lot of the times, if the item arrives not as described, I'm getting back on it. If the item arrives not as described, and they're like, oh, this has an issue. I don't want, I didn't know this was an issue. You didn't talk about it. You could say, okay, well, send it back to me, and then I will refund you. And if they don't send it back, you don't have to refund them. Because if the item is not returned to you, you don't need to refund them. So, let me see, what was the other question? Oh, we haven't even made it that far. New Life Pottery. Oh, shoot. Yeah, make sure you're asking questions before you purchase the item. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got the answers. Okay. So we have a new feature on Knickknacks, and we now have a 3-second runtime. 3 seconds. So if you are into those fast-paced auctions, you can now run your sales at 3 seconds, and I believe it's a 1-second refresh, which is very stressful for some people. I don't think I could do it, but if you like to go quick, have fun. Yeah, 3 seconds. You tried sudden death and it was fun. See, there you go. It was fun. And I don't think the sudden death, like, I feel like in the realm of vintage and antiques, sudden death isn't as intimidating as it is in like maybe storage units or like something like that. I feel like that's like really like scary. But I can't. Yeah, Fast Friday 3-second dare. Ooh, I like that. Claudine. Write that down, Christina. Do Fast Friday Freight where everything's 3 seconds. You have to run everything at 3 seconds. Oh my gosh, that would be wild. That would be so wild. Okay. Did you put guideline updates in here? No. Okay. Let me get on. I'm gonna adjust that real quick just to make sure that I put that in there. Make sure. I just want to make sure I got everything. Blocking buyers. We got that. Okay. So I updated. So we did get feedback on the jewelry, and I apologize that it took me this long to get on that because I did tell you guys I was gonna fix it. I was gonna update jewelry policy, and I did. So we're gonna go over to the guidelines. Give me 1 second. Yeah, you have to describe the item before running 3 seconds, or you could do it while you're running the 3 seconds, and you just have to talk really, really fast. Like, oh, this is a little figurine. It looks like a dog. Go. Speed talking. Okay, so I have redone. I mean, I wouldn't say redone, but I've kind of like fine-tuned our guidelines a little bit. So I want to encourage everybody to go check it out. So if you want to apply for being a seller on Knickknacks, you have to join, which you just did because you commented. And then you hit apply to sell at the top of the screen on the homepage. That is what you do. But make sure if you're selling on any other platform that you include links to those other platforms because that'll put you in the fast lane. All right, here we go. Let me bring you guys down here. I'm going to give you a peek at the guidelines. Remember, you can find these guidelines in the, where can you find these? You can find these in the information link. So Niknax guidelines. I made quite a few updates and I got to the point where I wasn't even like, is this going to just jump a lot? Okay. I got to the point where I wasn't really highlighting them anymore because it was just kind of excessive. But you guys can read through these. Essentially, rule number 1 has and always will be no promoting other marketplaces or selling platforms. I added this includes other marketplaces within district. So I added that part and I didn't spell it right because I can't spell in the morning. So there's that. No bullying or disparaging other members. In rare cases, we will take into account off-platform conduct as it pertains to Knickknacks. So if it's off-platform, if it references Knickknacks, if you're referencing another seller on Knickknacks and you're trying to put them down and harm their business, I'm going to take that into account. It is like the way I look at it is kind of like our sellers are, this is kind of the equivalent of like being an employee of Knickknacks. And I expect our sellers to, to have a certain, I expect a certain level of, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. I just expect that our sellers are going to behave a certain way. And if they're trying to put each other down, and disparage one another, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not going to get in the middle of he said, she said. But if there's public things being posted where, you're trying to tear down another person's business, I need to take that into account, because then Knickknacks is getting named. My business is being dragged into it. The entire community is being dragged into it, because when Knickknacks is involved, our community is involved, essentially, is what that means. All right. So no foul language or adult conversations. Obviously, it's a family-friendly marketplace. That's our claim to fame. No quoting prices or values in the chat. This was important. I had to send a message. We did have an issue with this over the weekend in one of our sellers' very first sales, which was a shame. But no quoting prices or values in the chat. This includes quoting prices from other online or physical venues. So this is like if you like, oh my gosh, I just saw 7 of those at Home Goods and they were only $2 a piece. Like, let's not do that, please. So examples would be, you can find that cheaper on, or I just saw a bunch of those for $2 at, those are 2 examples of what I mean by that. So no behavior that serves to negatively impact the outcome of a sale. And this includes the following examples: bid shaming, shaming other members for bidding. This happened a few times this weekend. So that would mean, like, example, that's enough, give someone else a chance, or why don't you let someone else win? Stuff like that is not really tolerated here. We'll usually send a message or ask you to please stop. Guilting other members into not bidding. What's the point of bidding against that person when they win everything? Or, I would really like this, but money is tight. Please give me a chance. So, those are 2 examples of guilting. And then devaluing the item. So this is actually putting down the item in an attempt to win it. Like, oh my gosh, that's so ugly. Why would anyone want that? And then, trying to win it because you're saying the item is ugly. So that's like devaluing the item. This was an issue this weekend, and this is something we've talked about before, but no behavior or speech that serves to negatively impact a simultaneous train or sponsored event. This includes the following examples: imitation. So this is scheduling a sale to imitate the title or thumbnail of a train or event. So this means, like, we had the glass train this weekend. It means, like, if you would have a sale and you'd be like, glass, 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 come get your glass. Like, I'm not saying you can't sell glass. I'm just saying, don't call your show glass, glass, glass. That's all I'm saying. Be respectful of all the work that, in this instance, Christina has put into organizing this event, planning this event, herding all the cats, making sure that it would happen. So, just be respectful of that. So that's, and in any instance, even our seller events, so if our sellers are doing events, just, be mindful of that. Competition. So this was another issue this weekend, and we've talked about this before. So competition would be like, hey guys, thank you for at the very end, thank you for being in my show. Just want to remind everybody, I'm going to be live tonight at 5:00, and I would love if you would come and see me. But also, the train is happening at 5:00. Like, so you're promoting your show that's happening while the train is still going on. So a lot of platforms that host trains, like, I know this was one of the rules on some of the Whatnot sponsored events, is you can't have a show while the train is happening. You can't even go live. Like, you're not allowed. You're like, if you're involved in this train, you can't have a show while it's happening. We don't do that. We don't say, oh, you guys can't have a show while we're having a train. Like, you can be on the train and then have a show, but you just can't promote it. That's all. That's all we're asking, is, like, don't promote your show during the train. That's fine. Yeah, you can absolutely promote your show after the train ends. Like, if you have a show on, Tuesday and the train ends on a Sunday, absolutely you can. Absolutely. So one of the ways that we're going to start trying to just make sure everybody's on the same page with this, and this doesn't happen again, is once the event is full, so once we get everybody who is signed up for the event is full, we're going to have a standard form note, like just a copy and paste, that's going to go out to all of the participants, and it is going to outline the rules of the event. like, hey, thank you for signing up for our Knickknacks sponsored event. Please abide by the rules. This includes XYZ. So if you sign up for an event in the future and you are on the list that is finalized, once the list is locked down, you can expect that you're going to get like a form letter. Everybody's going to get the same thing. It's not going to be like just you. It's not going to be like, don't feel targeted. It's going to be everybody who is on the list. And it's going to include these rules right here. Okay. All right. No spamming. We talked about this last week. This is using public or private chat channels, sharing a live show to multiple users without context. That's not allowed. Posting the same thing repeatedly in chat channels, also not allowed. This I had to clarify because I felt like it wasn't like completely clear because we had no purchase requirements for giveaways. But really, this also includes like you can't have a purchase required discount, and you can't have a purchase required like buy one get one. You can't have any of those because those also violate the federal laws related to sweep. I don't even know the actual laws, like lottery or sweepstakes or whatever they call them. So we can't have any of, so that would include like the wheel games. Unfortunately, we've had a few sellers who have done them, and I think they're fun, and I know that people love them. But unfortunately, they do count towards this no purchase necessary. So, and that's coming from me through district, because district also says, no purchase necessary things. So I added no purchase necessary requirements for discounts, deals, or giveaways. I just kind of clarified that just so everybody's on the same page. No attempts to pass off misleading reproduction or counterfeit goods as genuine, items with logos imitating luxury brands, contemporary items with vintage style not disclosed as contemporary. This would include your Temu, your Alibaba, your Shein, your those items, because if they look vintage and you don't say they're contemporary, people are going to assume they are vintage, and that's not right. So that is here, right here. That's falls under here. All sales must be shipped within 3 business days. If for some reason you get sick, you have an emergency, something happens, it is so important that you are in communication with your buyers. Okay. That's number one. Just be in communication with your buyers. That's important. No item, obviously, this is, nothing that promotes or glorifies hatred or anything like that. No nudity or indecent exposure, please. No begging or manipulating the audience for sales. This is kind of an obvious one. Like, don't be like, hey guys, like I really need money for my electricity is going to get turned off. So please, can you guys help me raise it? Like, let's not do that. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of like turns people off as well. No exploiting children. Adult must be present with minors. No excessive drinking or recreational drug use of any kind. I added this. If your user is found to be belligerent or unable to speak, their stream will be ended without notice. I know that we have some sellers who drink on their streams, like off the camera. Like, honestly, if everybody's having a good time, everybody's having a good time. But if it gets to a point where it's like, we're like slurring our words and we can't talk, we might have to step in. But I'm not dumb. No reckless or dangerous behavior. No chat shows or chat segments, obviously. That one's been there for a while. So we have 19 like basic rules now. There's also buyer rules, but I didn't change those yet. So then we get down here. This is what I changed because I know a lot of our jewelry sellers were kind of feeling a certain way about having to say something every time they sold a piece of jewelry. So this has been updated. I'm going to read it to you. Sellers are responsible for testing their jewelry. If a seller is selling precious metals such as sterling or gold, it is the seller's responsibility to test and confirm the purity of the metal. If the piece is unmarked and untested, the seller must state that it is unmarked and untested. So now it's not like, oh, it's marked and tested. You don't have to say that. You only have to say if it's unmarked and untested. So if it's unmarked and untested, be like, oh, well, it's not marked. It's not tested. And I still might revisit this, but we're just going to say unmarked. The seller must state that they do not know the purity of the metal and that the piece is either gold tone or silver tone. The seller must not imply that the unmarked pieces are genuine gold or silver without testing it. So let's scroll down. So that the reason for this rule is right here. No implying that jewelry pieces are something they are not in an attempt to bolster the sale. So that means like no saying, oh my gosh, guys, well this could be so. This could be sterling. Well, this could be sterling. It's not marked, but it could be sterling. This could be sterling. Oh my gosh, guys, this could be Tiffany. It's not marked, but it could be Tiffany. So like, trying to lead the you are very welcome, Crystal. Trying to lead the buyers into thinking that this piece of jewelry is something that it's not, to try to get more out of it. Oh, leading that space, and then for the buyer to get it and be like, oh man, this isn't actually this. We don't want our buyers being discouraged, because if we have like disappointed buyers, obviously, look at other platforms. If one person is discouraged, disappointed in something they received, it's not like, oh, I bought from this one seller on this platform and I got a bad item. It's I bought from this platform and I got a bad item, and I'm never going to shop there again. So it's a reflection on the entire marketplace. So that's why this is important. And then that's about as far as I got as far as updating. So I have more to update. But I'm just trying to look through. I think, yeah, these are all old updates. Oh, here, maybe I added this. March 3rd. Did I read this one to you guys? In the event of multiple failed payments without resolution, a buyer will receive a message requesting they square up with affected sellers. I do this a lot. So if a buyer doesn't pay up, so they have 48 hours a buyer has 48 hours to pay for their items. We have a lot of really, really strong buyers on here, and their bank just does not like District or Knickknacks. For some reason, their bank doesn't like us. So when they buy something, it fails. And then it goes into their cart. And then, the next day, in a few hours or whatever, they pay for it all at once and it all goes through. So it will show on your items, it'll show failed, but then it'll come through on a new line item and say paid. So even if you're seeing failed, like look farther up and you may see that it is paid. Okay, so don't freak out as a seller if you're seeing failed. You might see one line item that says all the items were paid for at once. But they have 48 hours to pay for those items. They're going to stay in that buyer's cart, and they have 48 hours to get those items paid for. So if I see multiple failed payments where the items are not getting paid for and they're just sitting in the cart and then lapsing, that's when I will reach out to a buyer and I'll say, hey, can you please square up with the seller? Like maybe they'll, reach out to them. They'll create like a private listing for you. You need to square up with them. And they'll have 24 hours to respond. And if they don't, I'm going to remove them from Niknax because that affects our sellers in the fact that they're bidding up the items, they're winning the items, and then the seller is losing out. So they have 24 hours to respond to me. Let me know if there's a conversation and they're taking care of it. And if they're not, I'm going to have to remove them from Niknax. I mean, I know that's really firm and like, this is it. But we just can't have that happening because it does affect our seller's livelihood, especially if it's happening a lot. So yeah, you guys can kind of scroll through here. No stock images. You guys know the basic rules. I kind of just I fine-tuned a lot of it. There was really no other big changes, but I am kind of reading through and adjusting and making a few changes here and there. I was trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to add into the guidelines that you guys want to keep an eye out for. Snacks. I wanted to add like a segment about snacks. Basically, as far as snacks go, we are going, like, obviously, the food has to be processed. I asked District what their policy was on snacks, and I'm going to kind of like transpose that into our guidelines, but it has to be the food has to be processed. So it can't be like, hey, I made these cookies in my kitchen, I put them in a Ziploc bag, I'm selling them. We can't do that. But it has to be processed and it has to be sealed. All right, let's see. Like freeze-dried stuff. I think I'll have to look at the rules. No, you don't have to put unmarked and untested on every jewelry listing. All right, let me think about this for a minute. Yeah, stating that it is costume jewelry or gold or silver tone in the listing is enough. Yes, I like that. I'm gonna write that down. I told you guys it wasn't the final draft of the jewelry. Where are my post-its? You guys know I have 7 million post-it. I literally have like 6 post-its stuck to the front of my computer, and then I have all over like post-its here and post-its there. Oh, there's my post-its. Okay. All right. So I think stating costume, gold tone, or silver tone would be enough. Or in place of that, unmarked and untested. So that would be, so any of that verbiage I would be okay with. An actual copy. Oh my gosh, that's so smart. I love that idea. Then I could have it all in one place. I wouldn't have all these post-its all over the place. That's such a good idea. I need to do that. I'm gonna update that. I think that's a good idea. In fact, I'm gonna write it in there right now just so that it's in there. Otherwise, who knows when I'll get back to it. Okay, so jewelry. The seller must state that they do not know the period and that the piece is. If the piece is unmarked and untested, the seller must state that it is costume, gold tone, silver tone, or unmarked and untested. There we go. All right. Teamwork. Thank you for the input. All right. So that is how we will leave it. Is that good? I think that's good. I mean, that way there's that transparency there, and I feel like the buyer knows what they're getting. The seller is covering their butt, making sure that they know, like the buyer knows, like, this is what I'm selling you. And obviously it's not coming back on us either because, hey, our seller said this, blah, blah, blah. And so we're not getting messages at help desk like, oh, this seller said this could be silver and it's not. And I'm like, well, if they said it could be and then it wasn't, they never said it was, and so it's like it's covering everybody. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get back to the notes because next is, what is MSRP? Oh, MSRP of the item we're selling. I have said that you can do that. Yes, I have said that you can do that. I have not said that you can't do that. My issue is when people like really over-exaggerate, so that's a fine line, MSRP, because I feel like on vintage items, sometimes like we'll have a situation where somebody will be like, okay, guys, next I have this beautiful vase here. This sells for about $1,000, but I'm going to start it for just $20. So you guys will get a deal on this because I'm starting it at $20 and it sells for $1,000. So let's start it right now if anyone's interested. We're going to start it at just $20. Just $20, guys. Just $20 and it sells for $1,000. Come on, guys. Oh my gosh, we're only getting $50. Come on, guys, it's a deal. Yeah, you want this. And then we get that happening, and that makes me uncomfortable. I'm really good at it though because it makes me so uncomfortable. That was bad. You want it? Well, I'll tell you what. I will sell this to you for half price of 1,000. I will sell it to you for 500. So that's my only concern. I know that we have sellers who do quote prices, but it's not like that. It's not like way out of the park. It's like they're realistic prices, and I don't have a problem with that. But my concern is that eventually we'll get there. We'll get there, and That's my fear. I don't want that. Oh, another thing real quick before we get to kudos and reminders. We do have, now I'm like, what was I saying? I forgot. Shoot. Oh, offers. Okay, I know now what we're talking about. Like last week when I was like talking about the offers, like I had reports come in about this offers during live sales, but I didn't quite understand until I saw it myself in one of the sales this weekend. So like I said last week, it is up to the seller whether, like, for instance, Thrifty DIY does the buy it now sales where she takes offers on items. And there's nothing, I mean, that's really cool. I love that idea. But to go into a sale as a buyer and then like an item doesn't sell, say somebody runs it for $100, it doesn't sell, and then be like, hey, what'll you take? Like, give me an offer. And the seller's like in the middle of like trying to sell stuff. Like, that's not really, I mean, if the seller has not expressed that they are taking offers on items, I don't think that that's really something we want to be seeing in the sales. It's different, you know, if you see, yeah, that's what messaging is for. So if you see that happening in a sale, you are a seller. If it's happening in your sales and you're a seller, feel free to say, hey, you know, that's not allowed here, but you can message me. You know, and I think once it gets around that it's not allowed, and then when they message you, can be like, sorry, I don't take offers, or maybe you do, but that'll give you time as the seller to actually think about it, because in the middle of a sale, it's chaotic and you're like, okay, what will I take for this? But you're kind of in your groove and it'll throw off your groove and you're like, okay, what am I doing now? But yeah, so be like, you know what, that's not allowed in you know, Jocelyn said, you can throw me under. You can say, Jocelyn said, that's not allowed here, but you can message me. I really do need my little Grinch pin right here. So there you go. Yeah, or you could say, I'll put this in my buy it now and you can send me an offer. I'll tell you what, I'll put it in my buy it now after the show and you send me an offer, rather than when they say, send me an offer. Be like, well, you send me an offer when I put it in my buy it now. We'll talk. All right, let's get to kudos and reminders, shall we? I have a meeting in 28 minutes. Let's let me read through them real quick. Mel's Collectibles used sudden death. You have to say it like that. Sudden death. The whole show on the train. She's the first seller on Knickknacks to do an entire show. Sudden death. Fantastic. I know, that's brave. That's brave. Absolutely. Very cool. Very cool though. That's awesome. Sudden death. Sudden death. So I mean, like, I encouraged you guys last week. I would encourage you to give it a shot. It's not as scary. I was like, oh, I'm never gonna do that. It really wasn't that scary. It wasn't that bad. But it helps when you start it, like, you make it a longer. You make it a longer, because then people have time to think about it. When it's short and it's sudden death, that's when it gets stressful for people. Yes, yeah, Charlene was using it too. I did notice Charlene. I didn't know, did Charlene do it the whole sale? Because I did notice Charlene was doing it as well. I didn't know she was doing it the whole sale. 3 seconds sudden death. Yeah, I know Charlene's been taking advantage of that as well. Okay, yeah, see you, Brandon. See you. All right, to all the new sellers diving in and having their first shows. Yeah, congratulations. I've been seeing a lot of the new sellers popping up with their first show. I think that's awesome. Reminder to everybody, you know, if you see a seller popping up, you don't recognize their name, if they say first show, please just pop in, give them some words of encouragement, check out their listings, see what they have for sale, maybe give them a follow. But as we're adding new sellers in, just remember, show them the Knickknacks community, show them that sense of community, because we're just continuing to grow. And it's very exciting. To all of our buyers, or raid them, absolutely, or raid them. That is so true, Nana. I know that, when I see somebody live for the first time, I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea I feel like they'll be really flustered if it comes from me. It's like, maybe that's not the best idea, but absolutely, I would encourage you guys to be raiding into new sellers, absolutely. And thank you to all of our buyers. I say this all the time, and we would not be here without our buyers, and those who support us as sellers and small business owners. We appreciate all of you for being here, and for supporting us and our businesses and our families. Absolutely. So thank you to all of our buyers. Who are new buyers, our buyers who have been here since the beginning. We appreciate you so much. What is this? Okay, so a reminder as far as art glass goes. Please remember, when you are listing your items, you guys are so sweet. You're gonna make me emotional. I'm trying to move on, because I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. This weekend was just insane, and like, this weekend definitely made me like, it got me in all the feels this weekend. It was crazy. Oh, don't do that to me, Christina. You're gonna make me cry. So a reminder about art glass. If you are listing the art glass, please be careful. Please, I know. Oh, stop. I'm not reading your comments anymore. I'm going to swipe them just so I can get through this. If you're listing art glass, please make sure that you are, when in doubt, don't be listing it Murano. I see a lot of people listing Murano when it's not Murano. So just call it art glass. Here's the bottom line: is a true collector is going to look at that piece. They're going to know if it's Murano. They're going to know. They're going to know when they look at it. So the other thing to keep in mind is there are a lot of misleading labels out there. There are a lot of misleading labels out there. A lot of the times they are in Italian. So use that Google, how you do the Google image. You can also use Google Translate. And if you put your Google Translate on there, it's going to say, in the style of the Masters of Murano, because it's not actually made in Murano. It's made in the style of Murano. And it says that on a lot of the labels. So please make sure that if you're in doubt, even if you have, and Murano style is a huge pet peeve of mine. I might go through and be like, so Murano style, either it's Murano or it's not. It's not really Murano style. And Murano is not like, it's not the beginning and the end of all glass is not Murano. There is so much amazing, like if this weekend was not the testament to the fact that there is so much amazing glass out there, that besides glass, and I love Murano glass, you guys know that, but there was so much amazing glass out there outside of Murano made glass. It's the truth. So just keep that in mind. Not everything is made in Murano. Not all the glass. It's just a little island sitting out there. It's like us. It's a little island. But yeah, so keep that in mind when you are listing stuff. There was something else I wanted to say, but now I'm forgetting what it was. I guess I'll think of it later. Okay, let's do our event calendar real quick. let's do the event calendar real quick because we've got some more events. I mean, we just, let's move on to the next one. That was exciting, and now it's time for the next one. So we're going to do calendar of events. Okay. Okay, let me turn you guys around. Sorry, my allergies are so bad. I did finally start taking allergy medicine because it's so bad. All right, so we are here tonight. We have the Groovy Train happening. So make sure you guys hop aboard the Groovy Train happening tonight. Okay, I just saw your text, Christina. All right, so we have the Groovy Train happening tonight. Tomorrow is fabric, buttons, trims, and more. We're having a train tomorrow, which is that actually sounds kind of exciting. I've actually seen a rise in our fabric and linens category, so that's exciting. So if that's your thing, I would really encourage you to stop in tomorrow and check it out. That is a train that we have happening tomorrow, and the conductor is Fabric and Treasures, Julie. So make sure you pop in and check that out. Happening tomorrow. We have Art Hangout train every Thursday. That is the only train we have happening on Thursdays. Thursdays are typically our no train days, but we make an exception for our handmade sellers. And then Party Like It's 1999 is happening this weekend. That sounds like so much fun. So we have Party Like It's 1999 on Saturday, and also the theme park train. So 2 really fun trains happening simultaneously this weekend. So make sure that you have both browsers open, popping back and forth. I've done it. It's possible. You can ride both trains at the same time. It's not impossible, but we've got both happening. So Candyland Curiosities, Amanda is doing a theme park train, and Party Like It's 1999 is Gigi's Vault Variety. So it's going to be a great weekend. Oh, it's the wrong weekend. Oh, wait. I'm looking. That's next weekend. Okay, which one is next weekend? I'm so confused. Hang on. Oh, next weekend. I lied. It's next weekend. Sorry, guys. I forgot what weekend it was. We're talking about next weekend. Yeah, we're talking about next weekend. I'm sorry if you guys didn't understand what I was saying, but I'm talking about next weekend. You might have heard me say this weekend, but I was actually talking about next weekend. This weekend on Sunday, we have the Mrs. Roper vintage. We have this happening. Mrs. Roper vintage crawl train. So that is happening. Dude, wait until you see so I feel like we all have to just tune into this to see Amanda's wig. Absolutely. So make sure that you are there for that. So that is this Sunday, April 13th. And I think Handmade Market is happening on the 25th, 4th Friday. As always, 4th Friday, and Meet Your Maker as well. So that happens 4th Friday. And then that same weekend, we do Handmade Market. And then that weekend is halfway to Halloween, which is going to be exciting. I'm excited for Halloween. I feel like I need to dress up for Halloween. I mean, I did the 80s. I might as well dress up for Halloween too, right? I don't know what I would be, though. Oh, my gosh. I have to figure that out. I have between now and then to figure it out. All right, let me see. We'll get back to our notes. So Handmade Market is April 25th. Meet Your Maker. Christina, did you come up with this theme? So the theme of the Meet Your Maker, if you guys are ready for it, is Amanda, she's like, oh boy, is let your freak flag fly. I don't know what that means. but it sounds like a lot of fun. Let your freak flag fly. The idea is not to have a specific theme. The idea is to show your individuality, uniqueness, interests, and passion, and how you translate that into your art. Can't, Amanda's like, oh, you done for. I guess we're getting freaky on Handmade Market this month. So everybody, come on in to the Meet Your Maker train. It's going to be a good one. That same weekend, we also have the halfway to Halloween. So it's going to be a really fun weekend altogether. I know. Well, actually, I noticed that I think it's been like that for a while. I think I put too much blush on. But yeah, I will. I'll say I'm blushing. Freaky but family friendly. I'll say that. So that same weekend is halfway to Halloween. And then we also have the Paperweight Extravaganza coming up. And that is the end of May, beginning of June. That's May 30th, 31st, and the 1st. Paperweight info, including signups, will be schedule will be posted later next week. So next week you will see info on that. All right, motivational quote of the day. The mind is everything. What you think you become. And that is Buddha. So that was our notes. I did get a note from Christina that people are wondering if non-approved sellers can sell for your live. So the answer to that is, and I know where this is coming from because I know Kat has had a seller selling for her lives with permission. I will say so. And I did have this conversation with District over this past week about, how a lot of the power sellers, a lot of people who sell a lot of volume will have employees who work for them, who sell for them. And whereas I used to have eBay, we were doing 20 to 30 auctions every single day, 7 days a week on eBay. Nowadays it's live selling. So a lot of the big sellers do have what they call streamers who they hire to sell live for them as an extension of their brand. And so as Knickknacks continues to grow, we will be seeing more sellers who, are bringing in employees, streamers to sell for them. So I talked to District about this. I would love to build in something into District, into Knickknacks that allows for that just not really allows for it, but can facilitate this in the system itself. It would be amazing. Obviously things take time. I mean, it could probably be like 2, 3 years, 4 years from now. They have other priorities. It would be really cool. In the meantime, with permission, I would say we will allow it. So with permission, yes, but you have to come through us and get permission if you plan on having someone else streaming under your username that is not some of our sellers, they are a duo, but if it's somebody like, who is this person? You need to come to us and be like, hey, I hired, this random person. And when people come into my sales, they're going to be like, who this? You should just make sure that, that everything's good. And I mean, part of the reasons for that is because I see a loophole there. And that's one of my concerns is, certain people who have, and we don't have very many, but we have like maybe 5 or less people who have been banished from the island. And my concern is this being a loophole where, oh, I hired this person. Now they're going to be streaming for me under my username. And it's like, no, sorry. That's not how this works. They were banished from the island. They don't get to come back to the island. So, So yeah, so if you are a big seller, even if you're a small seller and you grow to the size where, you have somebody selling under you who you've hired, like, that's fantastic. That's amazing. Just come to us and be like, hey, I'm hiring this person. I'm going to have them, like, even I would feel much better if you sent in an application, just so like I could check them out, and approve them. Like, they don't have to sell on their account, but that way I could just be like, okay, yeah, no, this person's cool. Yeah, let's go. Just because I like to know what's going on and I like to have eyes on everything. So, oh yeah, and if they could identify themselves, yeah, I think that's important too. And maybe that could be one of the stipulations is, okay, well, if you're gonna have this person selling for you, just have them identify themselves. Say, hey, this is so and so, and I work for XYZ, and I'm gonna be streaming for them today. I know a lot of the big streamers, like on other streaming platforms, their streamers actually have like their own shtick. Like, they have their own following within the larger brand, which is really cool. I think it's pretty neat, actually, watching what some of these people have built, and the brand that they have built even then around their streamers, is pretty cool. So I admire it. And I think it would be neat to have some things like that here. But yeah, one step at a time. The seller needs to report it. And if they're asking to pay through a different service, it's probably a scammer. But also, I believe District, probably. I'm sure they get a notification or something, but I would definitely report it. And I would, if you could CC community at Knickknacks.net and send it to District, support at District. Yeah, send it to support at District.net and then CC community at Knickknacks.net. What happened? Are you talking about the blog? We're Logan actually messaged me, I think it was last week, that we're ready to start moving forward on that. So it took a little bit of time. lots has happened this year, but I think we're there. I think we're there. I don't know if Logan's here. Is Logan here? But I think we're. A blog, like with a B. We have a Knickknacks blog. It's knickknacks.blog is the website. But I've since the very beginning, I've always wanted a blog for Knickknacks, where we could post like interviews and articles. And the goal was actually to have our members contributing articles as well, at some point, to get to that. But we haven't really got it off the ground yet. And part of that's my fault. I hate web design. It just makes me want to like curl up in a corner and cry. So I'll take the blame for it taking so long, is because I was in charge of the website. So yeah, that's the gist of it. But we're getting there. I think Logan actually has quite a few articles written, and he's kind of like waiting for me. So I like to keep people waiting. What can I say? All right. Well, I better sign off of here. I have a meeting at 12:30. Yeah, I've cut back. I'm only doing YouTube videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. It's hard. Like last weekend was hard. Like I felt like I needed to put a video out, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So I've cut back to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I realize my kids are only gonna be young once, and I need to be there and I need to show up. So now I'm only doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will say, I would not be able to do that without you guys, without Knickknacks. So thank you for being here and for helping make this such an amazing place. So I know Knickknacks, it's like a photo of Logan. Yeah. Does that mean you just shop on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? No, it just means those are the days that I'm posting videos. I'm usually shopping like twice a week. So, all right. Well, I am going to sign off. We're going to do a raid. Let me see who is live right now. Oh my gosh, everybody's live right now. You know what? Oh, look, Kat's live right now. Although it's probably not Kat. It's probably who I don't even what's her name? Do we know her name? Who goes live for Kat? Monica? Is it Monica? I just messaged her last night. I don't know if she told me her name. Oh, it starts with a sh. Okay. Okay. All right, hang on. Let's see. Who have we not rated? Rose Cove Vintage. I don't know if we've ever rated into Rose Cove Vintage before. I think that's probably where we're gonna go. That makes sense. We've never rated into her before. Oh, does it glow Michelle? Okay, let me look. Let me see who's got what in there. Let's see. Who has how many in there? Yeah, okay. Does it glow Michelle? Only has one person in there, so that's where we're heading. Let's go see Michelle. Does it glow gal? Also, just so everybody knows, Does it glow gal Michelle was in, I think, every single glass show this weekend. Absolutely amazing support, incredible. I think she 100% deserves this raid. Please, if you get in there, show her some support, give her some encouragement, give her a follow. She was incredible this weekend. Just cheerleading, answering questions, helping our sellers, helping our buyers. She is an incredible cheerleader, and we're gonna go raid her now. All right, here we go. Let's go see her. Everybody, here we go.